week, Beatlemania on tour came through Saskatoon and performed at TCU Place. It was the second last stop of a 14-date Canadian tour. Yes, they said hello to Saskatoon that night and put on an amazing performance. I had the opportunity to talk to the Fake Fab Four a few hours before they went on stage and White Albumed the night away. All right, we're backstage at TCU Place. I'm here with the four members of Beatlemania on tour, enjoying a couple nights off. You're back at it tonight here at TCU Place in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Second last stop of the Canadian tour. How's it going so far? What are the crowds have been like in Canada for you guys?
They've been absolutely fantastic. We've had a ball while we've been here. All of the shows, like our first show was actually in Cornwall, and that blew our minds. We had pretty much 3 standing ovations on that was our first night of the tour.
Sure.
Yeah, it was great. And
everyone's been going bananas.
There's been some sort of mania in the room.
Yes.
Mania, go.
Does the crowds still surprise you? I mean, when you go and look into the crowd, what types of people do you see? Because at one point in everybody's life, they're a huge Beatles fan, right? Either young, old. What do you see when you look into the crowd? Anybody wanna?
We're seeing now kids who are playing the Beatles Rockstar game, like so 8-year-olds who know like immense amounts of information about the Beatles.
Possibly
through,
more than us.
Yeah, through
Costumes and
Really?
yeah.
then there's the teenage sisters are coming along, and then the parents and the grandparents, and so every age group is present, and they're all getting up and singing and dancing and having an absolute ball, screaming their lungs out.
That never even crossed my mind that Beatles rock band would have brought a resurgence or even more fans into the mix.
We didn't expect it either, but we've definitely seen it. Like, we did a tour of BC last year around September, and that was when it actually came out. And since then, we've seen it slowly growing, the amount of youngsters coming to the shows. And now we're here in Canada again, sort of 6 months later. Yeah, we're getting, like, I'd say there'd be at least twice as many kids under 10 coming to the shows now than there was last year.
And are they all like, what's that on his guitar? It looks like strings or something.
Yeah, that'll throw them a bit, yeah.
So how far out in the world has this tour taken you?
We've been to South Africa. We've been there twice actually, and we've been to New Zealand and all around Australia.
This year alone, we've those places. We've also got Hong Kong and Singapore, and like a couple of stints in South Africa, as well as New Zealand and around Australia. So, and they're talking about going to the US. So, yeah, this year's a big one for us, very big.
All right, I'm going to start at this side and knock them all down. How do you get a gig doing this?
Well, we all met up in our hometown in Newcastle, Australia, and discovered Showtime Management, an Australian tribute show company, and they were after a Beatles show, and we were happy to do it.
We'd been doing tribute shows for 5 or 6 years before this.
Just Beatles?
No, not Beatles. Everything but Beatles, you know. We've done AC/DC and Tom Jones and Fleetwood Mac, and the list goes on. And we were sort of trying to climb up the professional ladder with each band we were doing. And Paulie and I have been together for a while, and yeah, sort of all the stars aligned about 2 or 3 years ago, and we were all in the same place at the same time. We all bear a sort of slight resemblance to the Beatles. We all sort of love the Beatles, and we all really got into getting into character, learning about them, their mannerisms, their vocal traits, everything we can to do them justice. Like, we're not trying to be better than the Beatles, we're just trying to recreate it so people can experience again. Yeah, a homage.
I think they kind of answered everything, but you want to keep going with that?
Like one thing I had to do, I do Paul McCartney, and yeah, I had to learn to play bass left-handed. I'm actually a right-handed player, and I'd done the switch,
hardcore.
which was, yeah, we got to be authentic, so it all pays off, and if we do it all right, and the crowd loves to see that. So.
Not to mention the thick Liverpudlian accents that we have to don when being the particular characters, and we get told everywhere we go that pretty much that, you know, we could go and buy a beer in Liverpool and not get beaten up for pretending to be someone else.
People compliment you on the authenticity?
Yes, they do. Yeah.
How
And that's
rewarding
the
is
biggest
that?
kick we get out of it. That's the most rewarding. Yeah, you're right.
Do you guys ever think about maybe doing like some sort of super concert where like you leave and you come back as Fleetwood Mac and you just have like this huge night of you guys doing all these different bands? Like that's a license to print money.
We're confused enough as it is.
Yeah.
We forget who we are. So no, we've done a bit of what would you say, multiple shows in one evening before, and it's very difficult on us, and it's not fair to the audience really. So
Well, this show is already broken up into separate parts, right?
exactly, yeah.
See, so you're already thinking way ahead of me.
We've
You've
got-
been down this road before.
Yeah.
You're smart.
Yeah, we've got all of the. We've tried to touch on all of the different key elements that the Beatles had in their 10-year career. So we'll let Chris finish this.
All the iconic venues.
We start in Hamburg, and like from 1961, and then in '62 we play the Cavern Club in Liverpool. In '63 we play a theatre tour that they did of the UK and Scotland. Then '64 is the Ed Sullivan Show. '65 is Shea Stadium. Onwards into the more studio-based and hippie-influenced kind of albums such as Sgt. Pepper's Magical Mystery Tour, White Album, Abbey Road and Let It Be.
All right, second last stop of the Canadian tour. You finish it off in Regina tomorrow, not Regina. Although if you call it Regina tonight, the place will go crazy because it's the big Saskatoon-Regina rivalry. So if you incorrectly say it, you'll get a pretty good
All right,
ovation. But
okay.
all said and done, the Canadian tour was fun so far.
It's been fabulous, yeah.
Yep.
Excellent, speechless.
Fabulous.
Just had a great time, had a ball.
All right, I'm supposed to ask you if at one point Yoko Ono impersonator runs on stage and breaks up the band. I don't know. I was like, really? Is that an appropriate question? But I promised I'd ask.
No, we'll keep it up our sleeve. We've got a few tricks up our sleeve, which we
Okay.
can't give them all away.
I call my left boot Yoko, and I just wear her every night. She kind of follows me around.
Ball and chain.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.